Hey guys, it's Summer Hollingsworth, and I'm finally here and able to film a new video. Sorry for taking so long in between videos. I just recently went back up to Reno for school and I didn't have any of the filming equipment that I needed, and I just went and bought all of it so that I can finally film a new video, and I'm super excited. I've honestly been like itching to film. I've not stopped talking about it all week. Anyways though, today's video is gonna be a story time of my terrible night terrors that I had as a child. And I don't really know whether to call this like a sleep paralysis story or a night terror story, because I had symptoms of both night terrors and sleep paralysis. So I don't really know what the fuck to call this. Before I film this, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of backstory because I have like a good idea on what causes these night terrors. And I'm pretty confident that this is actually what definitely causes these night terrors. So these night terrors happened when I was about 5 or 6 years old, and back at that age I used to watch this show called Courage the Cowardly Dog. I don't know if any of you have seen that show. It's kind of a really old show, but if you have, you know that Courage the Cowardly Dog is a fucking weird show and should not really be available for children to watch. If you don't know what it is, it's about this dog named Courage, and he lives with an old lady and an old man, I believe named Muriel and Eustace, and they live in the middle of fucking nowhere. And when I mean like the middle of nowhere, I mean like there isn't shit to see for miles. It's just desert and power lines and their house, and that is the only thing. And throughout the show, really weird shit keeps happening to Courage. Like they're visited by aliens, they're haunted, like just thing after thing after thing keeps happening to these people, and it's really fucking freaky. It's actually like scary. Anyways, I'm convinced that this show is what caused my night terrors because it is really scary shit for a child to watch. So I think it like kind of got into my head. I really don't know if this caused it or not, but I'm pretty damn sure that it did. These night terrors that I had kind of like recurred for 5 or 6 months straight. Like it was like almost every single night I was having the same exact dream, and it was a terrifying dream at that. Every night I would go to bed, I would wake up, and it actually like felt like I was like awake. It honestly felt like I was awake throughout this entire dream. I would wake up in Courage the fucking Cowardly Dog land. I would look around, and the only thing that I could see for miles was dirt. On my right, every single time would be the house from Courage the Cowardly Dog, and on my left would be power lines, and I could see power lines stretching for as far as I could possibly see. And I'd always feel really confused, kind of out of it, wouldn't know what the hell is going on, and I'd look around, it would be super quiet, and then out of nowhere, all of the power lines would start to get this really vibrant purple surge throughout. It was kind of like a giant lightning bolt going through these power lines. It would do that for a couple minutes, and I'd just stare at it like, what the fuck is going on? And then from the power lines would come these gigantic, towering fucking purple lightning monsters. They were shaped exactly like people, and they were fucking huge. So the first thing I would do every single time that these fucking purple lightning monsters would come from fucking nowhere, I would take off and run the other way, and I'd be running, and the whole time I'd be looking over my shoulder, and they'd be getting closer and closer with these gigantic bounds. Obviously, every second that went by, I'd get more and more scared, and I'd start screaming, I'd start freaking out, and then eventually these lightning monsters would get close enough to me to electrocute me. And when I say electrocute, like I mean I actually felt like I was feeling these electrocutions. While I was sleeping, I would start to shake. And I know this because my mom would come into my room while I was having these, and I'd be screaming at the top of my lungs, and I'd be shaking like I was having a seizure. I wasn't having a seizure, but in my dream, I thought that I was being fucking electrocuted, and I actually thought that I was feeling real pain. And then every single time, I would break free from this lightning monster, take off running again. Take off running, and the same thing would happen over and over again. They would get closer and closer with these gigantic steps that looked like they were probably 50 to 100 feet each. And then they'd grab me and electrocute the fuck out of me, and I'd start shaking once again in my dream. My mom said that I would stop shaking and then just start shaking, and then stop shaking and then start shaking. And every time I'd start to shake, I would scream. My mom at the time had no idea what the fuck was going on, so she would try to wake me up, and my eyes would actually come open, but I was not out of the dream at all. I would just continue to scream and shake, and she did her best to wake me up, but it is just completely impossible to wake someone up that's having a night terror. So as a mom, she's freaking the fuck out. She doesn't know what to do, and she did her research on it, and there is really nothing you can do in these situations besides just try to calm them down and try to get them out of it, but there's not really much you can do. Like I said before, these dreams went on every single night for several months straight. Every single fucking night I was having this same shitty ass dream where I thought I was gonna fucking like die. I never did see Courage the Cowardly Dog at all. I wish I had, because maybe he would have fucking saved my ass, but still, no, no, I just ended up getting fucked up every single night. So as time went on and these just continued and continued and continued, my mom devised like a plan to kind of help me with these night terrors that actually ended up working and completely saving me. One night before I went to bed, it got to the point where I was actually afraid to sleep and I would like refuse to sleep until I would just knock out. But one night before I went to bed, she gave me a little pep talk. She's like, Summer, this is your dream. You can control this shit. If you want, you can beat the shit out of these monsters. You can beat them up. She obviously didn't say beat the shit out of these monsters, but you get the point. She told me that I could be as big as I want, do whatever I want, that it's my dream and that I can control what happens in these dreams. So that night when I went to bed, I woke up in the, the usual spot in the middle of this fucking desert with the power lines, and the second that these power lines started to get this big purple electrical surge that went through it, I made myself 100 times the size. I don't even know how big, but like 100 times my normal size. I made myself fucking colossal. And when these big ass purple fucking electric monsters came out and tried to attack me, instead of being my little 5-year-old self, I was this massive giant as well. And the first thing that I did was punch that electric monster in its face. I ended up like fighting it out with these giant monsters for God knows how long. And in the end, I ended up winning and beating the living shit out of these monsters. And for some reason, after that day, I never had a single night terror ever again. I'm not quite sure why this fixed it, but shout out to you, Mom, because you saved my ass. But yeah, there's my night terror / sleep paralysis story. I hope you enjoyed it. Please comment down below if you've ever had night terrors or sleep paralysis or whatever, and tell me your story because I would love to read through all of these. Also, if you guys have not checked my merch out, go check my merch out down below. I would really appreciate it if you did. Please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Follow me on all my social media down below. Anyways, until next time, guys, peace.